My name? My name is not important. Who am I? I am the last American Jew. The time? The 10th day of Tishri, 5885. Excuse me, but sometimes I get carried away. The time is the 27th of September, 2124. The place? A National Museum in Washington, D.C. I am in this museum, on exhibit, in a cage. Day in and day out, people pass my way, looking, staring, pointing, and perhaps even chuckling. On the walls of my exhibit are the remnants of the Jewish culture: a tallis, a Torah, the books of the Talmud, a pair of candlesticks, touchstones of the Jew, and a mezuzah. Every day as I sit nestled in this corner, watching the people pass, I wonder to myself how 6.5 million people who existed as Jews a little over a century ago could possibly have disappeared. My father and my grandfather used to talk about the Jewish communities in the 19th and 20th centuries. I heard of large populations in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, and Pittsburgh, about worldwide organizations, B'nai B'rith, I think, and about a worldwide Jewish fund. Its name? I can't recall. I remember my father telling me how brilliantly successful and prosperous Jews were in America. I remember he talked about a land called Israel, and yet all this has vanished, disappeared. I contemplate the reasons, I recall the events, and I continue to search for the answers. And I believe I have an answer to the puzzle. I believe now I know how the Jewish population in America and in the world disappeared. It was small things at first, things which are hard to pinpoint as they happen so gradually. Then bigger and more important things happened. Jewish families stopped attending Sabbath services. Parents no longer cared enough to see their sons and their daughters become bar bat mitzvah. Havdalah candles were no longer quenched in the Sabbath wine. Oh, my grandfather told me that there were still good Jews, for they attended Yom Kippur services, and they held a Passover Seder every year. But the book tells me in time, these good Jews also disappeared. To attend Kol Nidre services became a chore, not an honor. To hold a Seder became a task, not a pleasure. The rituals and observances of Judaism vanished, and this, I believe, was the first step in the corrosion of the Jew and the erosion of the culture. And then these occurrences tumbled one upon the other, and the events that I personally recall came into focus. I was reading of a rabbi, Mordecai Rosenberg, who demanded that Jews fight for their freedom as Americans, that Jews fight for full equality with the non-Jewish community, that Jews fight to put all differences aside, and in time, the Jew became equal. He had attained material success and now achieved sustained equality. Hatred of the Jews soon disappeared and discrimination withered away, and corporate and social doors were wide open to them. All differences were put aside, including religious differences. Jews stopped hanging mezuzahs on their doors, as it merely proved them to be different. Jews, when asked if they were Jewish, would either say a brisk no or not answer at all. And a non-religious Judaism was established in America. Why didn't these people see that non-religious Judaism just could not exist? Judaism needs Jews, but even more important, Jews need Judaism. Without one, the other is dead. Why didn't these people see it? And then what I believe to be the final blow to the Jew came. It occurred about 50 years ago, so I recall vividly. The Arab nations around the Jewish state of Israel grew restless and strong, as they have since the beginning of recorded history. And these Arab nations wanted Israel destroyed, and they acted. With 2 nuclear pellets, 3.5 million Israelis were obliterated. And the land of Israel, Eretz Yisrael, charred beyond fertility. When news of the incident flashed across the globe, I saw the final step of the disappearing Jew. The Jews in America turned their heads. They denied concern and said, "Really? What could I have done?" All this to remain equal? And yet, a little over 150 years ago, a man in World War II was supposed to have slaughtered 6 million Jews in Germany. And my father often told me how the people swore that they would never forget. They promised that they would always support the Jews across the continents and across oceans, that they pledged their time, their money for the development of Israel, and they vowed their allegiance for the progress of all Jews. In time, these gifts ceased, and allegiances forgotten. Any responsibility of the American Jew for the other Jews was ignored. How forgetful people can be. And when the people lost their pride in themselves, in their Israel, they lost everything. As it was once said, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. I am the last American Jew. And in less than 20 years, I too will die. And never again will another Jew step on this earth. My God, oh my God, where did we forsake you?